So likewise, this is really not going to be solved by throwing resources and human resources. All rules, this is why I'm making this little, because all rules of engagement are about to go out the window. They already can. You know, when somebody has become like Pope, there are artificial intelligence dressed up as the Pope, wants to be claiming as the Messiah, and believe me, don't believe me, don't even listen to me. 50% of America thinks that somebody is the salvation, and 50% thinks that he is a hustler from New York. This is my policy of the guy. Don't talk about it. Yeah, because the more that's all he wants you to do, talk. You don't care if you talk good, talk bad. He just wants to keep his net worth up. That's about it. And don't use his name. I like to call him Don. That's about it. You got to be on first name basis. It's perfectly all right and respectful as per the American free speech liberty standards to call somebody by their first name and say Dan. Have been waxing captains today and had apple. Yeah, that's what you need. I think you're hungry. You know, a hungry is angry people. Yeah, once the people become hungry, they become angry. And once they're angry, they become lonely. And then they start screaming and shouting, like, fighting. Reaching, they have free access to the firearm, they start shooting. Why? Because them is hungry. Yeah, the halt, my friend. Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired of politics. Now, Carney's take on crime is, no, you're not going to solve Jack. When people are hungry, the children are hungry, they can't pay mortgage, they are on the stove while you are enjoying your luxurious freaking yacht and stupid ordering your stuff and skip the dishes. I'm pretty sure you to have your sustainability meeting, you have skip the dishes, getting you some food or DoorDash. That whole Prince William, you know why you will not be king is because your earth-shot price. Your earth-shot price, it gives an award to Uber for some guy who created tires that is going to cost less money for Uber delivery. No, you can't live that stupid life. You gotta learn how to cook over there, okay? We gotta have cooking places in parks where people can go make themselves some roti and dal and not be hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Okay, so they start using drugs. We have to have minimum guarantees about food and shelter. And now the system has failed. It has totally failed. You don't know it unless you pass into the system like a turd. You know, when you're... Otherwise, if you look at the face, you don't know this person has caste pressure. The railroad has derailed. They know nothing coming out. No, it's all like, how you say, representative. Yeah, the guy is AR. He has an AR stuck there. Fucking, yeah, and he calls himself fucking, I am the fucking king, I am the fucking Charles. Not Charles, you ain't the king, okay? Sorry. Okay, you were the king. You got to wear on the throne for a little while. Now say, I'm taking leave of retiring. The people are... Even the concept of the republic is done. The whole concept of democracy is a failure, okay? Like a total, utter, resounding failure. Look at your election. Just look at your election results. The United States of America, the model child of democracy, you have like 50% Republican, 50% Democrat. A real 50% split. like equal 50%. So, how would that be people's rule when 50% of the people are just oppressed and really this? You can't pass one law through Congress without intervention by an executive order of the Vice President of the United States of America. Kamala Harris had to intervene on, I think, 32 or 36 occasions to pass any kind of legislation in Congress. Okay? That's what democracy has become. It's become bifurcated. This is bipartisan or tripartisan or as-partisan. Same with Canada. Look at Canada. How many seats did the Liberals win? 167 or 172 or 174? And how many seats did the Conservative peoples win? It's not like zero or the thing. There's like, how much? 156, 149? That's quite close. So it's the will of just 50% of the people for 4 years or for 8 years, I think. Now, how long do you think the other 50% are going to not rage? You want peace? How can you have peace? It's just like civil war. So democracy has spun a civil war. Inbreeding and infighting. In many ways, the other kind of popular vote, like China is a democracy too, except they have one party. They don't have this fighting like the cocks. You know, two cocks fight, there's only one winner. The other one has to go limping. In the Philippines, for a cock fight, you have knives attached to the little thronos, the thing, so little knives attached to this thing. And the things are going to stab each other to death. There's only one standing cock. That's what politics has become. It's a total, absolute failure in governance, in legislation, in policy making, in law making, in assent, in ruling, in doing what is good for the people. The British press, what does the British press have to say about Carney? It says that he's quite a bureaucrat, okay? He knows how to talk for 20, he's like me. I work for the government too. That's why I'm a king, okay? I know the ins and outs of government. Because of that, I work in the health sector, okay? In the health, the Ministry of Health. Not the police. I refuse to work for the Ministry of Justice. Yeah. Truly, I refuse to say, go. I Ministry of Health. Even though I work for the Ministry of Health, this is it. This is how much I believe the system. I did not take the vaccination, the COVID vaccination. I am unvaccinated. That's how much faith I have in the Ministry of Health and the policies. It's not that I'm anti-vaccine. I have taken 65 vaccinations in my life, twin rags, ass rags, this, BCG, smallpox, measles, all those things, but I haven't taken it because I know this is for profit. The government and the corporations together, they find ways of humping your leg, the people's leg. That's about it. That's why government is a failure at all levels. The government is there to facilitate corporations. So that they can siphon and you can siphon and everybody can siphon stuff out of the coffer while you are catching and holding the large cock with knives attached to it. Okay? A large cock, satisfies. Yeah, that's like a cock, my friend. Pepsi and cock. Don't you drink cock? Yeah, a large cock, satisfied, some baby pickle, and some Louisiana hot sauce to show it your ass, okay? That's what you're going to get. So how can you find happy people when they have hot sauce shoved up their ass? No, they're going to be raging, my friend. And it is really suicidal. I actually need to just shut up. This is what, truly, If I was like a selfish person, I would just go and meditate on Allah. Yeah, I would meditate on the divine, on God, on Jehovah, on Yahweh. It's not Joe as in Joe, Yahweh, yes. Meditate on the salvation of Jehovah. Okay, as in Isaiah says, right? And in those days you shall say, draw from the well of salvation, okay? But alas, all those who are in power, your well is run dry, my friend. Ain't no salvation for you. People are gonna come get you, okay? With the sickle and the pickle and the hammer and the guillotines. Now lastly, to make this a little much more positive, because it's been negative. There's nothing. This is very. Carney is right in some ways. He says this is a very challenging time. It's the time of our life. It is the time of our life, because pretty soon food is going to be scarce. Okay. Yes, that's the future. Food is scarce. Polluted water, you have immigrants all over, you're taking a job, you don't have a job, you're driven out of your house, you don't have food, you don't have dignity. People talk about dignity, you don't know what exactly is the meaning of fucking dignity, okay? You don't know the definition of dignity. Okay, Charles, define dignity for me. You don't know fuck about what the meaning of dignity. Nobody knows. Even the Superior Court of Justices, the judges are unable to find the dignity of a human being in the orders of a low degree. That's another reason why Charles is not going to be king, because of failures of justice. We all rise in the name of King Charles, and it's done, and it's okay. Because we can't do this, we can pin the tail on the elephant, because the king is indisposed. We delegate it to some biased, blind person who's been prejudiced and biased solely by the retainer fee. That is not justice. We have a festering legal system. Back to reducing the last time, 10 minutes I'm giving you about reducing crime. I have thought about every kind of affliction on this planet, and I've made a legislation and a vision that I will be including with this media. And that is the vision that I have for this planet. And I would suggest you follow it, or you borrow it, or you copy it. I know, that's why I put it out over there. Human beings are copycats. You have no original thought. You are like an ape. If Taylor Swift shows a boob, all of you are going to show your boob. Yeah, if Tom Cruise has a sex stage operation, then Robert De Niro says, I don't see what's the big deal about it. You want me to see me in drag? Okay, yeah, I'm trans too, okay? Yeah, I was always a woman, right? Yeah, you never knew that, did you? The guy in Cape Fear is a woman? Is that what you're telling me? The guy who acts in Cape Fear is actually a woman. He identifies as female. You go look at the actor who's the male actor in Cape Fear, he's a female, okay? Okay, so where are we to reduce crime? Now, Carney is talking about the bail system. We got to reform the bail system. It's true in many ways. You can't get bail. Good people get stuck because they don't have $1,500. Your bail is set at $100, $1,500, and you have $100 in your pocket. You're like, oh yeah, most Canadian people live paycheck to paycheck. How prison systems are filled with people awaiting trial, awaiting a slowpoke legal system where the retainer is $7,000. The legal aid is pleaded or guilty, get it over with, and don't do it again. 100% you're going to do it again, and then you're going to say, oh, he's a perpetual offender, and he's, why? Because you don't have a lawyer. Whereas, you have a child molester, you have a child thing, but he has this money.